Hello again, and welcome to Professional Insights. This is where we talk to you, the professional, sharing insights from other professionals for the benefit of, well, everyone. This is brought to you by the National Referral Network. And today we're talking to Eunice Clarke. We got a lot of Clarks here today. Eunice is the founder and CEO of Clarke Executive Services Group. They are a business operations consulting firm, and they help business owners, well, among other things, stay in business. They help them prosper. They help business owners make the most of what they've already built and experience the reasons that they started the business in the first place. And so, Eunice, I'm happy to talk to you. We were doing some sort of off-camera prep earlier. We're going to talk today about essentially how to avoid hiring the wrong people, how to hire the right people, and how to keep them. So let's jump right into this. Commonly, why do business owners start out often by hiring the wrong people?
First of all, thanks for letting me join you again. In doing the prep, I had a lot of things that flooded in my mind. I have over 30 years experience in recruiting and candidate sourcing. And so there's a lot to talk about, but let's focus on what I think is very relevant to today, which is uh, people are restless. People want good jobs, and it really revealed itself during the what we call the Great Resignation, when back in the days of uh, COVID, and that wasn't long ago, roughly around 2022, folks decided I'm not going to be in a job that I don't want to, that I don't like, that I have a lot of stress in, that I'm not doing what I really want to do. So people just left. Millions of people left. I think it was upwards of in the job force, 30 or 40% of people in service jobs, other jobs. So in focusing on that, people are restless about where they're going to land and and what they're going to do and whether the job is worth hanging around. So as an employer, you want to hire people who not only want to stay around, but they're comfortable and happy, and happy, not just happy, satisfied, but happy in what they're doing, and that they want to stay long term.
And why would you say so many employers make the wrong decision when it comes to hiring? They're just, I know, I can say as a business owner, it was a long period in my career. I was just bad at it. Why are so many employers bad at it?
Because, well, for small businesses, let's focus on small business, especially if you're growing. You want to just get a team to do the work that's necessary to manage your enterprise. So a lot of employers just hire and they don't consider what each employee or potential employee could bring to the job.
Now,
So
why is that exactly? Are they looking to
because
just
they're in a hurry, they want
they're in
to
a hurry?
hire
They want to
people.
do it on they want to do it on the cheap. They want
Well, they do. Well, it's not just when you're doing it cheap. There's a lot of folks that I work with now who they're not being cheap. They just want to hire quickly. So you heard that old adage about hiring slow and firing fast.
right. So they're
It really
impatient.
does pay off.
So they hire. So in other words, they're doing the opposite. They're hiring fast and firing slow.
Let me tell you a story. A short one. Resumes are not being reviewed. So I brought up my experience of recruiting because I go through thousands. I've gone through thousands of resumes, and during that time, I'm looking for a lot of things that tells me whether that person is the right fit for that employer. Okay, and that includes longevity in past jobs. The right fit is more than just they are nice. A lot of people are that way. You have to, it's important that you put people in the job that are not only willing to do the job, but are prepared to do the job. So a good fit includes you having the skill set, the background to fill the position, not get frustrated because you're in that position, and continue with the position. So people, employers make uh, um, a lot of times they unfortunately hire too fast
Okay.
without reading the resumes, and it's so important that they do.
And what are today, you mentioned COVID and the Great Resignation and really this sort of reconfiguration of really work.
Hmm.
What is today's employee looking for? And we were talking before, it's not necessarily just money.
That's right.
It's, what are they looking for?
Well, let me first say that as far as the configuration of jobs now, in 2024, a lot of people are still looking for jobs with flexibility, with that bring jobs that bring more to benefits than just I have a decent paycheck and I can go on vacation. They're looking to uh, relax, be maybe even have great relationships within the workforce. And if you're working remotely or hybrid, uh, it's still important that they have great relationships. They can communicate with others. So that's what employees are looking for.
So
Okay,
and so you think that so they're looking not just for a paycheck, but they're looking for a sense of community and a sense of belonging.
that's
I
right.
think that actually goes to how office space is being reconfigured now. There are these office spaces that I think they call them uh, I think uh, class A spaces. That's what they're called,
Hmm. Hmm.
where it's more of a sort of this community open sort of environment. That is what today's employee wants. They want that sense of collaboration, community. And
Right.
are most employers willing to provide that?
I the owners, the business owners and executives that I've worked with, they do want to bring a sense of community, a sense of belonging. It's a difficult juggle because people are doing more remote work and they're doing more hybrid work, but they want that work because they want the flexibility. I know you've heard it's not just a trend; it's been happening
Right.
prior to COVID, which is there's a lot of folks that are going to work remote because it gives that flexibility, that those breaks, all the things that you don't necessarily get in a 9 to 5 because the boss is watching. So, what I advise or suggest to uh, the workforce now, and particularly owners, is to, like we talked about, hire slow, read every line of the resume, find out if they really are, uh, experienced enough to do the job. And then communicate, communicate, communicate. I can't say that enough.
Okay.
There's a lot of owners who just place the folks, then they don't talk to them after that unless they need something.
Well, no, you bring up a good point there. So when reading a resume, look, I can say flat out as a business owner, I don't know how to read a resume. Or meaning
Hmm.
if I'm hiring, I don't know how to do it.
Hmm.
What are some of the red flags in a resume that a lot of employers miss, and what do you need? What do you need to be looking at? What are the deal breakers that you would notice if you read it?
Okay. Well, I mean, really, it's Mike, it's very basic. When people read a resume, I'll give you a few. One, they don't read how long a person has been on a job and doing the job that you're hiring them for. So they may say, Joe Schmo, oh, he's been an office manager for X, Y, and Z. He's been an office manager, but they won't look at he's been an office manager for 6 months. And then they want someone who's really seasoned to take over something. So they won't look beyond, all right, he's been an office manager here, here, and here. Ooh, 3 places he's been an office manager. But that might have equaled, and I take the time to count the months, the years,
Okay.
etc. So that's one thing that people
So
don't
so
realize.
somebody's been an office manager at 3 different places, but it totals like less than a year.
That's right.
That's less than a year they've been an office manager.
That's right. And then there's some folks who, they will hire prematurely because they didn't notice that they have no experience doing something. I've hired change managers, for example. Managers are folks that uh, are like much like project managers, where they keep everything on time, on budget, in
Right.
terms of and communicate to teams to make sure that they understand why there's a particular change
Okay.
happening.
Got it.
Some people will read resumes and say, okay, they have this experience and that experience. And then when you start reading it, you notice that they've only changed the title, but it reads like you've been a receptionist.
Okay.
Okay. So a
Got it.
lot of people will miss that.
So read the resume thoroughly and know what you're getting. So as we wrap up here today, let's
Mhm,
talk about, okay, let's assume you brought somebody on board who's a good fit, okay?
mhm,
In today's world, we've talked about community and you know all those things. Sorry, I'm fumbling this a little bit, but my point is, how do we keep them? You know, how do we make sure that somebody's going to stick around? Because as we spoke about, the most expensive thing any business owner can do is hire somebody and it doesn't work out, and you're starting again. So how
right.
do you keep people?
Well, when we were talking before, we were talking about, it was pre-resignation. It was fine that people were giving decent benefits. And what that is maybe health care and, health insurance and, um, dental and a decent raise every once in a while. Right now, people are really, they're focused on having a wonderful, healthy life. So they're concerned about mental health. They're concerned about
Okay.
fitness. They're concerned about things. So the most important thing I could tell people is to communicate and listen. As an employer,
Well,
listen to what your team wants. It's not necessarily you give them a decent bonus and they stay around. They are looking around right now as we speak.
okay.
Folks who may be satisfied with or you think that they're satisfied with the job because you're paying them well and you're being fair to them as an employer in your mind, they want you to listen to them.
So they want to feel fulfilled. They
They
want to
want
they
to,
want to be part of something.
that's right. And it changes with every person because everyone's individual, right?
Okay.
Everyone's unique. So
And
if you can, go ahead.
and is this a generational thing? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Is this the millennial mindset, or is this everyone?
This is everyone. It's not just that. You also have to keep in mind as an employer that there's been a major shift in recent years, and it's still continuing, where you have baby boomers.
Mm,
I won't say who, but they're baby boomers as we speak right here, who are retiring. They're done. And so the way that employees or potential employees value their jobs is not the same. It was, the baby boomers and generations after that, the millennials are actually older now, right? So they're even edging 40,
they're
the
pushing 40.
millennials.
Yeah, yeah.
So those folks are looking for something totally different. So it's not your moms and pops uh, expectations anymore.
Right.
You must listen, you must, as an employer, and you must communicate. And also, you talked about sense of community, even in a hybrid, remote, and you have some folks that are going to be on campus, as they call it, in the offices. They still have to feel they have a sense of community. A lot of
Mm,
people drop off on jobs because they don't realize that
okay.
how isolating remote can be or even hybrid can be. You
So
know? feel like they're coming together and people are communicating
You
with
bring up a good point. In a virtual TikTok instant gratification world,
Mhm.
people are looking for fulfillment more than ever, it sounds like.
And community.
And
Although
community.
they're
Yeah,
asking for remote, maybe, or hybrid,
right.
they still are wanting to reach out to others. So I would encourage folks that once you are there, that you devise a plan that would allow for a sense of community.
Okay.
Cross training is good. Working with others is good. Building smaller teams within the team, communicating and finding some sense of leadership within the jobs, each job from receptionist on up, that someone should feel that they are leading or contributing to the whole of
And
the business.
that's a great point. And as we end here today, I want to say that your firm is an operations consulting firm, and you help businesses figure out all of what you just talked about, how to
I
figure out how to
do.
make all of it work
Yes.
so that the business runs the way that it should. And I want to see if my guy with the crawl, look at that. It's just like magic. There is your website if you want to know more about what she and her firm does. There, you can reach out to her. This is, of course, brought to you by the National Referral Network. And the last thing I want to ask, just say a couple of words, Eunice, about how important it is to have connections with other professionals, because we can't be all things to all people. Okay.
I
You're
can't
always
agree.
sourcing work to other professionals. The National Referral Network is a resource pool, of course, that you can use and are a part of. How important is it to have the right, as we end, how important is it to have the right team members doing the right stuff?
It is so important for team members to do the right stuff, but for NRN, it's invaluable. I mean, it 10 times over, just incredible to communicate. We were talking about communication and
Right.
community. It's important to have community, and NRN does that with bringing together highly successful, wonderful
Right.
folks that I've had the opportunity to meet. So
Yeah.
I'm very appreciative of that.
And that kind of sounds like that's the theme of our entire talk today is community,
Community.
and how everybody wants connection and community. We're all helping each other.
Yeah.
Really appreciate your time this morning. I thought I learned a lot just listen and a couple of things I never thought of.
There's so much more.
There's so much. There is. We'll get to that.
So much
We
more.
are here every Tuesday morning, same time, same station. If you you can subscribe, all that stuff I'm supposed to say at the beginning, I'm saying at the end. Like and subscribe, and we will be back next week. Thanks, everybody.